Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Euphoric Consciousness. I hope you guys are doing great today. It's very, very cold, hence the jacket, the sweatshirt, the hat. But it's all good. I'm fired up anyways. So today, topic of discussion is going to be question everything you know. Question every single aspect of your life, because it is not remotely close to anything you possibly could think that it is. So I have a few notes on the good old phone that I'm going to use to steer this conversation for today. So really, first off, let go of your ego if you're somebody new to my channel, let alone to questioning your beliefs, because ego is the root to all evil. People hold attachment to things for no reason. They are told one thing and one thing only, and then they just run off into the sunset thinking they know everything. They think they're right. They think they're the most knowledgeable person in the world, when everything that they've been taught has been a lie. So, and I can say that about myself too, like with this video and the stuff that I'm going to talk about. But when you really do deep dive research into certain things, and you kind of point out the past and what you were taught in school to your own research, you find out very, very different things. And it's public information, so you could look up any of this stuff if you want. I'm gonna add a few links to the description, just so you guys see what I'm researching. And I will say follow the money. So first things first, challenging everything you know is important. So with that, I want to tie things into the current state of our life right now, and a lot of tension is between cultural races. So obviously, like whites versus blacks, and blacks versus Hispanics and Asians and all that stuff. And most of us were taught that the Civil War was pretty much solely based on slavery, right? When you really look into the Civil War, it really wasn't about slavery. It was for the British Empire. It was for them. You know, they still to this day have their foot in every single door. Every door. And it's a scary thing, because literally no one ever thinks about this stuff, and neither did I. But the more I've gone down this conscious journey of undiscovering things, the more I realize how backwards everything is, especially when it comes to school. And this is why I have a huge problem with public schools, because they're teaching us a bunch of bullshit, guys. They're teaching us a bunch of fake shit that's not real. That's completely contradicting everything that actually happened. So with the Civil Wars, there was a threat to Great Britain and their bank and their foothold on the world of money, in the world of wealth and finance and all that stuff. And Abraham Lincoln was challenging that. You know, I don't know the specific bills, unfortunately. I don't have those notes with me, but he put out a few bills that made it pretty more difficult for them to have their grasps in the United States. But obviously the banking cartel is much more powerful, and we all know what happened to him. Long story short, obviously he got assassinated because he was challenging the banking industry and what they wanted. And what they wanted was war. They wanted slavery. They wanted to have their foothold in the United States, because they feared that the United States was going to become their own separate government without the British bank. We can have our own bank. So they didn't like that. So they started whispering into plantations' ears, stirring up all these rumors, promising people money, and that led to the South versus the North. And we all were taught, for the most part, that it was strictly about slavery and the Northerners wanting to free slaves in the South to keep slavery intact. But most people, if not 99% of people, don't know the only reason why this really happened was because the Bank of England started whispering into people's ears, causing all these lies and causing aggression, causing more incentive to fight against freedom of slavery, because that's how they made money, you know? So comment down below too, like if there's anything that I'm missing or that I'm wrong about, please comment down below, correct me, or add to what I am saying right now, because there's so much more to what I could say, but I don't want to make these videos super long. So that one was really hard for me, and this is where like letting go of your ego comes into the play, because I literally was the one, I thought, like I was that person who thought just the Civil War was just about slavery, but that was such a small percentage of the cause of Civil War, and I was stuck on my ego. My ego was telling me this, it was telling me that it was just about the Civil War, and I wouldn't hear any other point of view. I wouldn't do my own research. I didn't listen to what someone else would say. My ego said, no, you're wrong. It was about slavery and that was it, because that's what I was taught in school. So why would my school steer me wrong? Why would my education system tell me one thing when it wasn't even about that? So letting go of your ego is massively important when it comes to stuff like this. And part of euphoric consciousness is freeing the mind, having the mind have critical thinking, to allow yourself to expand your conscious mind, to actually see things for what they are versus the smoke screen that's been taught to us in school. And once you let go of your ego, you have to ingest all this as much as you possibly can. Because once you let go of your ego, you can actually take things from like a bird's eye view and see all the little whispers from here, 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 here. You can see all the money from this place, that place, this place, all of it connecting into one thing, all of it connecting together, allowing you to see what events actually took place, for what they are. So like nowadays, like we see all this different, there's like the differences between like whites versus blacks, and part of that is from the education system and what we were taught. And I firmly believe now that everything we were taught in school is to program us to have differences between each other, to have anger towards each other rather than uniting with one another, loving one another, not caring about your skin color, not caring about where you come from. The only thing that you care about is who you are as a person. If you're good, you're good. If you're bad, you're bad. It doesn't matter if you're Asian, if you're white, if you're black. It doesn't fucking matter, dude. If you're a good person, you're a good person. Simple as that. Period. So once you go down this path, you start to really pick up on the differences that we have between people, and where that stems from. And a lot of it stems from the education system that we grew up in. A lot of it stems from just people telling one person a false story, and that person runs with that false story and tells another person that false story. And imagine that on an education system worldwide. Like, not everyone learns about the Civil War. There's other shit that goes on in other countries that's also similar to the Civil War, but they put their own spin on it, tell their citizens some false story. They all believe it, but lo and behold, behind the picture, it's all just to get people confused, to get people angry at each other, to get people to think something that isn't actually the case. And with the Civil War specifically, and the United States, the Bank of England, bro, like nowadays, like you guys don't understand, like in New York, the first bank in New York was part of Great Britain. So they had their foothold in the United States, but thanks to Abraham Lincoln, his efforts made it hard for them to actually create income, to create profit. Thank you. I don't know why I can think of the word. So it's like when you realize that like the Bank of England has really been pretty much implemented into every country, you start to pick up on the power that the crown has had over the world. And it really is scary to think about how most of our gold reserves and silver reserves are now in England. That's really frightening to me. So it's like all of our, not all of it, but I would say most of all our gold reserves, silver reserves are now in the Bank of England. Why are they there and not in our own country? Why do they have our money and why do we not have our own money? Why was it at the Civil War this shit started happening? Why were the lies all the way back then still coming to this present day? Why are we still being taught false stuff and people not questioning it? Like, this is public information too, guys. Like, I'm not even just talking about random stuff. Like, before I even did this video, I was making sure, because I don't want to tell you guys wrong stuff, but I was making sure that what I was thinking about the Civil War was accurate. And you kind of have to dig down because most websites, unfortunately, are monitored nowadays. Most websites tell you the same stuff that we were taught in school, but you just have to look a little deeper. I'll link the article that I was reading, or the articles that I was reading in the video, in the description below, so you guys can check it out for yourself. But like I said in the beginning of the video, follow the money and you'll know. So it blows my mind too, like, guys, just question everything. Please, just question everything, because before you know it, we're gonna end up in a tyrannical state. We're gonna end up like China. We're gonna end up like Russia. And my personal beliefs about politics right now is a lot of our politicians are bought out to Russia. If you're into cryptocurrency, you see that there's a very strong connection to Russia right now, especially with Ethereum. And Ethereum is part of the bank, if not the entirety of the bank, which is really concerning to me. So we're gonna end up like them, especially after you, like I said, if you really start picking up on connections. So like with cryptocurrency and Ethereum, the connections go so deep with Russia, bro. So it's like, what is going on in the politician world that we don't see? What conversations do we not hear? What behind the door deals are being made that aren't going to be on the public record? What foreign deals that are going to be made that aren't going to be in the public eye? Like, y'all think that everything is just peachy and happy, and governments aren't trying to control the mass, that the government isn't trying to take away our freedoms. But like, dude, it's so blatantly obvious to me. It's so blatantly obvious that our freedoms are just being stripped away slowly but surely, that we live in a debt society, and that our financial economy is literally run on a debt society. And that's why when you start talking about Ethereum and the Russian connection, it really freaks me out, because if Ethereum does become like the main coin for the financial sector, that's going to be their monopoly again. Like, they're gonna have a digital monopoly, and we're gonna get nothing again. We're literally gonna get nothing again. So this is why questioning everything, even if I'm wrong, even if you're wrong, you're questioning it, which is healthy. That's normal. That's what you should be doing. You should not just be listening to what one person says and one person says only. You got to be listening to so many different perspectives out there, because all these history books, his story, imagine how much different it actually was from what we think it is. When you have so many different people telling their own perspective about what happened in World War II, or what happened in the Civil War or Revolutionary War, or during the Martin Luther King era. There's so many different perspectives. So why should we listen to what our schools teach us when there's so many different perspectives? Why do our teachers tell us that we're wrong when we question them? Just because I understand that their books say one thing, it doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make what I say right. Nonetheless, but what does stand true is money, and where money flows, truth is hiding. So it's like, I'm not gonna listen to what my school ever said to me, and nor should you guys, because I'm really a strong believer now, unfortunately, that our schools are breeding slaves, are breeding just illiterate kids who can't critically think for themselves. Like, not to mention how like schools literally look like prisons. You just repeat what you're told, rinse and repeat, and that's how you're based on being smart. Like, guys, please just question stuff, because we are headed towards a one world tyrannical government who's literally going to put us into concentration camp. Maybe not concentration camps, but there will be concentration camps if we do end up in that timeline. It will happen. And this, you probably aren't even watching at this point in the video, because if you're some random person who is stuck in the matrix, you've already clicked off. But if you're still watching, you're a G. You're smart. You're not the same as the mass. Like, you're different. You're chosen. I don't know why I'm the way I am. I don't know why you're the way you are. I think about this every day. But we're part of the few people who do understand these things. And we have a role to play in the future of freedom for ourselves, for our kids, for the good of humanity. We have a role to play in the next 50, 60, 70 years. I can't sit around playing Fortnite. I can't sit around watching Netflix knowing that the Bank of England, let alone freaking Russia, now with their new pipeline, are taking over the world. Let alone, dude, I can't sit around anymore. Like, euphoric consciousness is going to be so much more than just a YouTube channel. So much more than just merch. Like, it's going to be, guys, it's going to be so much more than this stuff, because we don't have time. Time is the most precious currency in the world. And it's weird, because like money is time. You buy time, really. Like, you can't live longer yet, for all we know. I'm sure there's some technology out there now that the government is hiding from us, that they're using on themselves. Who knows, bro? Like, who knows? Just question everything, man. I don't know what I was about to say, but I really want you guys to just question everything. Like, if you're still watching this video, you're already somebody who does question everything. This is more just like confirmation that like you're not going crazy. Like, you're sane, you're normal, you're actually more healthy and sane than these people who don't question things. So don't beat yourself up. Don't lose track of who you are, or the stuff that I talk about, that you listen to, or that you talk about and then I listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not crazy, guys. We're not crazy, okay? So protect your energy, though. Protect your mind. Protect yourself from people who are going to drag you down. It's not worth being around those people. So if you're around those people, just drop them, bro. It doesn't matter if you're close to them. You know, like, I hate to say it, but like, they don't care for you, really. They don't. Like, if there's someone who's negative and they're really just bringing you down levels, get out, bro. Even if it's one of your homies, tell them, like, look, either you fix your shit or I'm done, bro. Like, I can't be around you anymore because you bring me down and I got stuff to do. You bring me down. You're a bad energy. I don't like that energy. I gotta go. And you can't feel bad about that. You're prioritizing yourself, let alone you're prioritizing the good of humanity, because you're not gonna go sit around and smoke weed and drink anymore. You're gonna go create something. You're gonna spread truth. So I hope you guys understood this video. I'm sure you guys did, especially if you're still here at the end of this video. I wish I could just keep talking, but I don't want to make too many long videos, so I appreciate you guys sticking around till the end of the video. If you did, drop a like. Please share this video with a peasant, because they're gonna need it. They need to think critically, so share this with somebody who you know who needs to think critically. Let me be that person to kind of direct them, I guess you could say. I don't know, but comment down below to what you guys think. What are your thoughts on the current state of life? What are your thoughts with the Bank of England? Wars just being used for profit, like the Afghanistan war. It was nothing about terrorism. It had nothing to do with that. It was just about oil. It was just about drug fields in Afghanistan for the crown of England. Like, it was nothing to do with terrorism. Just like that there really is, like, this whole racist idea. Like, dude, no one really, like, yes, there's racism. It's always going to be racism. But, like, it was only a problem until the media started highlighting it. So, like, I don't know, guys. Just question everything. But y'all have a great day. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Stay tuned for some fire content coming out. Please share this with an average peasant who's going to need it. Give me some support. Go to the website, get yourself some merch, spread some positivity, some love. Y'all have a great day. I will catch you in the next video. Peace out, boys and girls.